tell you what, man. When you start to make them changes and you really start to become a different person, that drama will start to get thick, man. Like, take my situation, right? Is I got a baby mama, and at least on my side, I don't engage in any of the drama, any of that type of stuff, man. I don't have the energy for it. I won't do it. Like, I give it absolutely zero energy and 0 minutes of my time, right? But I still get hit with it a lot, right? And it's one of them things where it's like, do I understand why? Yes. I used to be a very shitty person, man. I've done a lot of things when it comes to my kids' mother that I'm not proud of. Like, I never beat her or anything, but I was unfaithful, and I fucking was emotionally abusive and manipulative, and would like try to isolate her from her family and shit like that. And I just wasn't a good person, right? But even after we broke up, I was still the same kind of person for a long time, right? And it was like, I think when she could sense and feel that I was still that same kind of person, that the anger didn't really like come out that much, because as far as she was concerned, she was like justified in feeling the way that she felt about me and about the kind of person that I was, right? And then when I left and I went back out west, out to Oregon, right? She also wasn't like, you know, too concerned with it, because, as far as she was concerned, like, all right, I'm finally rid of him. I don't have to deal with him that much. And, I just get my child support and whatever, right? And so she was okay with that. And then, now things being how they are, where I finally like have all my shit together, right? And I'm like really like pushing and be like, hey, like, what's up with, me seeing my kids? It's like all of a sudden here comes the pushback, right? And the insults and the threats and the ultimatums and the fucking, just all the shit that they do. If you have a baby mom, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? And all that shit just comes in paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of text, right? And I don't even really read it all, right? I'm just like, I kind of skim it, and then I'll just, hit it with something like, I mean, let's chill with the insults and just keep it about the kids, right? And then boom, paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of shit, right? And again, it's just like, at that point, I don't even respond, right? And it's like, I think is one of those things where it's like, it's the next challenge for me, right? Is having become absolutely 180 degrees from the person that I was before, right? One of the challenges that's going to come up is, people from your past that you still have to interact with because of, kids or, your family or whatever, right? They're not going to be open to the idea that you could be a different person now, right? Even if it's 5 years later, right? They won't accept it, they won't be open to it, and they'll try to tear you down and, get you to fall back and be the person that you were before. And then what happens is, if you don't do that and you don't confirm that you are the old person that you used to be, they get even more upset and they get more violent, right? And they lash out even more because they're like, what the fuck? I can't get, out of this guy what I used to get out of him, as far as, anger and insults and all that type of stuff, right? And so, one of the things that is gonna happen when you start really implementing these changes in your life is that people, that you have a history with, that know you to be a certain way, are not gonna accept it. They are gonna fucking fight tooth and nail to try and keep you the way that you've been, right? So that justifies to them, number one, their opinion of you and how you should be, and number two, it makes them feel better about themselves not actually growing and becoming better as people, right? Because as much as they may talk about growing and getting better, right, if they have something from their past that they are just fucking iron fist holding on to, right, and they refuse to move on, they refuse to just let it go, they refuse to just, be happy and be, a better person shaped by their past, right? Then if they can keep you where you were, years ago, then that justifies to them why they don't actually have to do that much work on themselves, right? So, I mean, that's pretty much the point that I wanted to like explain and break down a little bit, right? Is, you can do all the work in the world on yourself and try to become a better person, and people that you have a history with will absolutely make it their life's mission to make sure that you don't actually get to stay being the better person that you're becoming, right? And so it's like, at that point, all you really can do is just, put on, what I call like the cyborg face, right? So whenever I'm dealing with my kid's mom, right, whether it's in person, on the phone, over text, whatever, right, my whole demeanor, my whole response to everything, my whole everything is just like that, right? I'm like a cyborg, man. It's just, you know, whatever the response needs to be to communicate the information I need to communicate in the shortest amount of words possible is the go-to there, right? And it's like, it's not like I don't care, right, about the things that I've done in my past. It's just like, at this point, I've apologized for that shit 100 times, right? And so it's like, at this point, being 5 years out of a relationship with somebody, there's nothing that I can like physically do to try and, or emotionally do or anything like that. There's nothing I can do to make that better. We're not on that type of relationship level anymore. We're not any kind of like, connected in that way. It's like we have 2 kids together, and the only thing I really am interested in is pickups and drop-offs and school concerts or whatever. Like, that's it. I'm not really worried about fucking anything going on in the other person's life, right? And it's like, do I care? Hell yes, I care, bro. It's like, someone that I had 2 kids with, right? And every night before I go to bed, when I pray for my kids, I also pray for their mother. And I pray that she, can figure out a way to get help and to move on from, you know, the things from the past, you know. But it's like I can't physically do anything to make that situation right anymore. You know, it's like that ship sailed 5 years ago. You know what I mean? And so it's like that's just something you're gonna have to deal with, man. Like if you're, you know, a dude like me where you have kids and, you know, years ago you did their mother wrong and you are trying to, you know, work out not only improving yourself but also, you know, still wanting to have a relationship with your kids is one of the things you're going to have to deal with. And the only way to deal with it is, you know, with some class and some grace. And like no matter what, man, you never fucking like give in to that desire to just be like, man, shut the fuck up and just, you know, give me my kids, right? And so it's like, you know, like for me, right, my whole history is that I used to run away from shit like that, right? Like shit got thick, I'd run away. Shit got too heavy, I'd run away, right? Like I didn't like where I was at, I'd just run away, run away, run away, run away, run away, right? But I'm not gonna do that anymore. I can't do that, right? Like I finally am at the point where I don't care how hard it gets financially. I don't care if my car breaks down. I don't care if I get evicted from my apartment for some reason. I don't care if that bitch burns to the ground, right? I'm not running away from my kids again, right? I don't care about the fucking insults. I don't care about the threats. I don't care about the ultimatums. I don't care about the I hate you, the fuck off and dies. None of that shit, man. The only thing I care about is just being there for them damn girls, right? And so it's like, you know, you have to like cultivate that kind of mindset with this whole thing, right? Where it's like, you know, comes to my kids, I'm the jolliest, most loving, most, you know, happy go lucky guy ever, right? When it comes to the mom, if she wants drama, it's cyborg face, right? Like you don't get nothing from me. You don't get a second of emotional energy if all you want to do is be negative, right? Now, if you want to, you know, end up, you know, being positive and being even friendly, then that's cool. But, you know, when it comes to the negativity and the drama, will not happen, cannot happen. Anytime it's about to happen, it's straight robot face, straight cyborg face. You know what I mean? So that's that's the advice I got for you, man. Um, you know, the Dormition Fast coming up. It's 2 weeks. It's gonna be my first like prolonged fast, you know, so I just finished my last like non-fasting meal for the day. Before that happens, you know, I had a couple big ass burger patties with some cheese and some onions, you know. So it's gonna be cool, man. I'm looking forward to it, you know. So peace. God bless.